Chaldea is my original Dungeons & Dragons campaign. It's also the setting for First Paladin. I started running Chaldea in college back in 1981, and actually several of the players that are in the First Paladin were there, Steve Connard, CJ, and we played a ton of D&D. And we played so much, our characters got really high level, and so as the characters got higher and higher level, the Deities and Demigods book that TSR published, in the first edition one, of course, with the Cthulian mythos and the Melnibonian mythos, was very important. It was like the source book for our characters. And we ended up developing a lot of house rules for how to play deities and running planes of existence and all this stuff. And actually those rules ended up being the foundation for the Primal Order, which is the first product we ever published when we formed Wizards of the Coast many years later. When I was envisioning this campaign, I really wanted to create a story set in an early age, and sort of the dawn of the universe, when the gods are young and still exploring, when there's worlds that haven't been found yet, and there's not a lot of sophistication, and there's powerful magic, but it's ancient magic, it's eldritch magic, and there's dragons, and there's powerful demons, and great civilizations, but they're in kind of an early stage, and there's a lot of newness to the universe, and that's the main inspiration for Chaldea. One thing you'll find in First Paladin is several cultural references. The First Paladin takes place on the island continent of Perrin, which is very inspired by sort of real-world Britain. So it's medieval. You've got knights and squires and lords and barons and that sort of thing. But Perrin is one kingdom within a global empire. So the king of Perrin is also a senator to the emperor, and sits on a senate with kings and similarly ranked people from other kingdoms around the world. And this empire is ruled by Chaldea, the emperor, who was just assassinated, which introduces a level of turmoil that exists within this world. You also have another influence of religious culture based on real-world mythologies. And so you have, in Chaldea, you have Egyptian, Greek, Norse deities. In this particular time and place, it's mainly the Egyptian deities that are referenced. You have, and during the time of Chaldea, Set was declared the only legal religion. While Chaldea was rising to power, he made an allegiance with the Church of Set, so that Set would be the only legal religion within the empire. All other religions and all other gods were declared illegal. This is a very important point for one of our player characters, Apophis, who is a priest of Ra, who is an illegal religion. So we have this interesting thing right off the bat where one of the player characters is effectively a heretic, should he be discovered to be who he really is. In Chaldea, most of the races are actually immigrants that have come from other worlds that date back to a war between the dragons and the dwarves. The dragons and the dwarves are the indigenous races of Chaldea, and they fought each other for a many long time. And the dragons, in order to fight the dwarves, went out throughout the universe and brought other races to Chaldea. They brought humans, and orcs were two of the most important. In our story, the First Paladin, this story focuses in on the Duchy of York. The duchy is one of several duchies within the Kingdom of Perrin, which is one of several kingdoms within a vast global empire. Well, the emperor has just been assassinated, so the whole world is worried about what's going to happen next, and it's becoming like a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's doom and gloom, and everybody's raising their armies, and all hell's breaking loose. So the Duke, as the central governing figure for this area, is going to face all sorts of problems. He's going to have problems problems within his own family, and monstrous threats from outside of his border that are now awakened with the Emperor dead. Certain things are going to be let loose. So the player characters are all going to have some sort of tie to the Duke, and they're gonna make decisions that will either help the Duke and help his duchy survive, or perhaps help some of his enemies. We'll see what happens.